Let's have a look the title. As you know, the title is important, which gives us um, clue about the topics. Lost at the Sea. Now let me ask you: Do you have you heard about the disaster? What disaster is? Do you know what disaster is? Okay, now let me tell you what disaster is. This is, sorry. Okay, disaster is a kind of the accident. Okay, a very bad situation that cause problems. A very bad situation that causes the problems. That's why we said it's a kind of the accident. Uh, uh, have you heard true story about disaster? Do you have a true story about disaster? Who want to tell me true story? Now, then let me show you true story about disaster. Okay. Now we are going to listen. Tom and Elliot.
Tom and Eileen Lonigan were an American couple from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, who in 1998 went on a diving expedition at the Great Barrier Reef off the coast of Australia. The diving boat, which had dropped them off at a certain location, had returned to land without picking them back up. 2 days later, the company discovered their error and a massive search was undertaken, but they were never found. The story of their disappearance was huge in Australia and received international attention. The tabloids had a field day speculating on the causes and the nature of their deaths. The tragedy was replayed on shows like Inside Edition 2020 and even inspired this Hollywood movie.
Okay. we have a true story about the Tom and Alien. They were scuba diving in the Australia. Okay. Then when the boat that had taken them there, they left them um, in the area. Okay. Then they return, neither crew or nor passengers noticed that they were not Tom and the alien were not on the boat returning home from the trip. This couple were never found, and there has been a lot of the speculation um, about how they might that. Um, in the, I think 2003, and there was a film, Open Water, which is based on this um, true story, a couple a disappearance. Now, let's have a look our first exercise. We have one more true story about Dan and Kate Suski. Okay, now we don't know title of our paragraph. We are going to choose title for our paragraph, which can be possible answer. Can you please choose one? Tourist fishing trip disaster, or how to protect sea creature, or fish rescue sailors? Can you please give an answer? Which can be possible? And you can raise your hand if you find the answer. Leonardo, are you there? I can see your name here. Eshter. Eshter, title can be our headline. Good morning, Eshter. Yes, I couldn't hear you. Good morning. I couldn't hear your voice. Can you please speak loudly? Giovanni? Yes, Giovanni. Which is your which one did you choose? Giovanni, which one? What? Loudly, please. I can't hear you. Enzo. Good morning, Enzo.
Good morning, teacher.
Okay, can you please tell me your answer?
Teacher?
Can you please tell me your answer? Which of these headlines
Teacher,
can be our
I didn't
title?
understand because I just came.
We have a photo here.
Teacher, I'm not understanding.
You see the photo and choose title for this paragraph. Which can be our title: How to Protect Sea or Tourist Fishing Trip Disaster or Fish Rescue Sectors. Yes, there you go.
Teacher, can I answer?
Yes,
Teacher, can I
please.
answer the question?
Yes. What's your
It's
answer?
A, tourist fishing trip disaster.
Okay, thank you. You're right. Maybe no. Let's see. Let's listen to the first paragraph. First paragraph.
Lesson 2F.
Okay.
Turned into a nightmare for an American brother and sister called Dan and Kate Suski. They were enjoying a fishing trip in the Caribbean near the stunning island of St. Lucia when their boat sank, leaving them and their captain to fight for their...
Okay, this is true. Thank you for your answer. Now we are going to before reading this paragraph, we are going to learn about reading strategy. Okay. Now, when you do before the reading, okay. Now, okay. When do you a task with a gap sentences in a narrative text? There's a gap, okay, in our text. Okay, when do you a task with gap sentences in the narrative text? Look carefully at the sentences before each gap and think about what is likely to happen next. Okay. There's possibilities. Answer. Okay. Then look at the option and see which of the sentences match your ideas. Here, options. Finally, check that the text. Check that the text reads smoothly with your chosen sentences in place. Okay. Well, here you are before the filling gaps. Here before the filling gaps, don't forget to read the next paragraph. Okay. Let's say that if your answer for one is A, you have to be sure reading the next paragraph. Now you have 5 minutes for the reading this text. Okay, you have 5 minutes. Read text and fill the gaps with the exercise from the exercise 4. There are 2 extra sentences here. You will choose which one is closer with your ideas. Okay, you have 5 minutes. Read the text and match, fill the gaps. Then you will tell me your answer. Okay, you have 2 minutes. The last 1 minute. If you finish, you can raise your hand for the first one. Are you ready? Time is up. Can you please tell me your answer? You want to give an answer for the first one? Yes, Georgie. Can you please say the first one? Wait, please.
Hi,
Yes.
teacher.
Hi, George.
I think it's B.
You think it's B,
Yes.
B or D?
B.
B. Okay. We are going to check it. I do not see the answer right now. Okay. Let me ask the second one. Thank you, George. The second one. Who want to answer? Yes, I am waiting for your answer. What is the possible? Yes, Cristiane. Sorry, Elisandro. No, Cristiane, right? Yes. What is your answer, Cristiane? What is the second one? Cristiane, are you
Teacher.
What's your answer?
I think it's A.
A. You think it's A, right? Okay, thank you. Now, let's continue with the third one. We are going to check it together. That's why I do not say the answer. Okay, third one. Who wants to answer? Firuze. Good morning, Firuze. Yes, Elisandro. Are you there?
Teacher,
Yes, Firuze, good morning. What's
good
your
morning.
answer?
G, three
You
is
think
G, I think.
3 is a G. Okay, thank you, Firuze. Let's continue with Elisandro. What's your answer for the fourth one?
D, line D.
B or D?
D,
D.
yes.
Okay, we are going to check it. Thank you. The last one is the fifth question. Who wants to answer this one? Yes, Jose. What is your answer?
I think it's C.
You think it's C, right?
Yes.
Now, okay. Let's check it together. Be careful. We are going to read we are going to listen and read the text together, and we are check our answer.
Their lives.
Wait.
Lesson 2F. Tourists fishing disaster.
A dream holiday turned into a nightmare for an American brother and sister called Dan and Kate Suski. They were enjoying a fishing trip in the Caribbean near the stunning island of St. Lucia when their boat sank, leaving them and their captain to fight for their lives. The fishing trip began well enough. The weather wasn't brilliant, but Dan wasn't complaining. He had a huge fish on his line. He was trying to pull it onto the boat, and Kate was helping him. But then the captain realized there was a problem. Water was coming into the cabin and the boat was sinking fast. The captain used his radio to send a message for help. Then he shouted to the Suskies, "Jump out! Jump out!" So they did, and a few minutes later, the boat disappeared under the waves.
Okay, now, so they did. The answer is, I think, so they did, and a few minutes later, the boat disappeared under the waves. The first is D, not B, right? Okay, let's continue. Let's listen one more time this side.
Captain used his radio to send a message for help. Then he shouted to the Suskies, "Jump out! Jump out!" So they did, and a few minutes later, the boat disappeared under the waves. They were about 15 kilometers from land. The captain told the Suskies to wait with him in the water. Help was coming. The weather was now awful, but they were wearing life jackets. After an hour, the captain and the Suskies lost each other, and there was no sign of rescue. So Dan and Kate started to swim as fast as they could towards land.
Okay, the second one, let me see. They can, so Dan and Kate started to swim as fast as they could towards the land. Yes, I think, who responds this? Alice, I think, I don't know the name. Okay, you were right. I mean, okay, one more time.
Awful, but they were wearing life jackets. After an hour, the captain and the Suskies lost each other, and there was no sign of rescue. So Dan and Kate started to swim as fast as they could towards land. They were both thinking the same terrifying thought: sharks. A plane and a helicopter appeared in the sky, but nobody saw Dan and Kate in the water. Hours passed and night came. The Suskies swam for 14 hours. Then, in the moonlight, they saw some cliffs. They were only a few meters from land, but they couldn't get out of the water here.
Okay, they couldn't get out of the water. The possible answer is E. I think you said it's C, right? The option, the 3 one is E. Out of the water at least. No, sorry. But they couldn't. G. 3 one is G. They couldn't get out of the water here. One more time.
14 hours. Then, in the moonlight, they saw some cliffs. They were only a few meters from land, but they couldn't get out of the water here. The waves were breaking against sharp rocks. It was too dangerous. So Kate and Dan swam past the cliffs. By now, they were exhausted. Eventually, they reached a sandy beach. Out of the water at last, they lay down and rested.
The 4th one is out of the water the last, they lay down and rested.
Then they started to look for a town or village. On the way, they picked and ate green bananas. Dan said later that it was the worst and best food of his life. After 3 hours, they met a young farm worker. He gave them water and food and stayed with them until the police arrived.
Okay, number 5 is C. Not D. He gave them water and food and stayed with them until the police arrived, right? Number 5.
Best food of his life. After 3 hours, they met a young farm worker. He gave them water and food and stayed with them until the police arrived. He also gave them some tragic news. The captain was lost at sea. Dan and Kate Suski spent a few days in hospital. Their story appeared in news programs around the world, and there was one final piece of astonishing news. The captain also survived. A rescue boat found him after 23 hours in the water.
Okay.
Lesson 2F.
Okay, we are going to continue with the exercise 6. Okay, you are going to write if it's true or false. You have 3 minutes for this. Yes, please, Marco. Can you please tell me the first one? Is it true or false?
It's false.
You think it's false?
Yes.
Let's see. Yes, you are right. Thank you, Marco. Let's continue with the second one.
It's
Who
false.
wants- Yes, Georgia. You think it's false? Why you think like this?
Because Dan wasn't the first person that saw where there was a problem.
Who was the first person?
Cap
Captain. Thank you. Okay. Let's see answer. Yes, you are right. Thank you. The third one. You want to answer this question? Yes. Giovanni, can you please tell me your answer?
it's false.
It's false. The boat sank before Dan and Kate could jump into the water. If you said false, why do you think like this? Can you please tell me the truth one?
They jumped out, then the boat sank.
Yes,
Sink.
let's see. Okay, let's see if it's false or true. Yes, Giovanni, thank you. Good. Let's continue with the fourth one. Yes, Firuze, what's your answer?
False.
You think it's false? The helicopter saw Dan and Kate in the sea, but it couldn't rescue them. What's true if you think it's false?
Mm. A plane and a helicopter appeared in the sky, but nobody saw Dan and Kate in the water.
Okay, nobody saw Dan and Kate. Let's see. Yes, you are right. Thank you, Firuze. Let's continue with the Marco. Number 5.
Number 5 is true.
You think it's true? When Dan and Kate reached land, they couldn't get out of the water first. Let's see. Yes, thank you. It's true. Let's continue with the 6th one. Who want to answer the 6th? Number 6. Yes, Kiami, can you please answer the question? What's the possible?
Teacher.
Yes.
Hi, teacher. Teacher,
Hi,
I think it's true.
It's true.
I think it's true, teacher. Yes.
6th one. There was nobody on the beach when Dan and Kate got off the sea. Can you please prove if it's true? Okay, there were, sorry, let me see. And they met a young farmer after 3 hours later. It's true, thank you. Now let's see number 7. Maniela.
Teacher?
Yes, what's your Maniela? The captain swam.
I think it's true.
You think it's true? Let's see if it's true or not. Yes, it's true. Thank you, Manila. Thank you all for your participation.
Thank you, teacher.
Now, we are going to continue. Oh, sorry. Okay, now we are going to continue to learn this box. Our topic is extreme adjectives. Firstly, I want to give information about what is the extreme adjective. Okay. If we say funny, it's an adjective, right? It describes noun or pronoun. If we say hilarious, it means an extreme adjective which shows that things makes us laugh a lot. There is not more than it. Delicious, very tasty, right? Distinguished, very unpleasant. Now, we cannot use before this adjective very, because we use the extreme one, extra emphasis with the delicious. There is no more. We can use very tasty, but we cannot use very delicious. We can use very unpleasant, but we cannot use very distinguishing. Now, you are going to answer fantastic. What could be the similar meaning? Fantastic, filthy, strange, or tiny. Okay. Also, I want to add, very common adjectives often have more than one extreme equipment. Enormous, massive, gigantic, giant. Immense. These means very big. These are similar. Okay. Now, you are going to write, fill the gaps, and you will tell me your answer. What is the similar with fantastic? Fantastic, very what? Okay, who wants to answer this question? I know for the first one. What is the similar for with fantastic? Yes, Kiami.
Teacher, I think the first one is very good.
Okay, it's very good. Let's see. Yes, you are right. Very good. Marco, what is the second one?
I think he's very hungry.
Second one or third one?
Second one is very hungry.
Okay, let's see. No, unfortunately. Okay. How about the third one? Who want to answer the third one?
Starving is like hungry.
Yes. Let's see. Starving is very hungry. Yes. Good. Perfect. Thank you. The fourth one. What's your answer for fourth one?
To the fourth.
Yes.
Very small.
Very
Small.
teeny. You mean the similar word is very small. Let's see. Okay. Very small. Thank you, Ayane.